So I'm gathering there's one or two ways that this can go.
Okay.
So you can comply, or you can be arrested.
Okay. Is this a?
So there you go. This was last week at the abortion clinic. I'll just tell you, I'm doing a video on what happened and the outcome of that. I'll just tell you that neither of those things happened. I did not comply with the officer. I did not take my sign across the street. Very respectfully, I did not. As I'm going to do this video with respect to police officers. And I did not get arrested. So, I'm going to start off by that. Now, and I'm just going to make a quick introduction for those who would like to think, as many conservatives, not Christian conservative, professing Christian conservative, but conservatives first and foremost, as they believe that anything the cops tell us we should do. Right? And they'll misuse 1 Peter. So I'm going to bring up the verse right now, just for those who, it's not going to be a long, so the verse says, "Submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human authority, whether to the emperor as to the supreme authority, or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish people." So right away we see, what does it say? The governors, what is their authority given to them by God? The Lord's sake. To punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right. When the civil magistrates and law enforcement officers fail to do that, then we know that the scripture tells us we should obey God and not man. I'm not saying that we go out and disrespect police officers, but we have no command to follow unlawful commands or those who pervert justice. As we see it happening too often in our nation. As we see the apostles doing. Right? They were told, they stood before, I forget his name. But he said, "You are not to preach the gospel anymore." And he said, we're to obey God and not man. So using the logic of these so-called conservatives, we're just to obey them, whatever they say. Right? Taken to its logical conclusion, we see its fallacy. Anyway, just for the sake of those, if you have a problem with disobeying police officers when they give you unlawful commands, leave me a comment in the video. I'll be happy to discuss it. But there is so much proper exegesis of 1 Peter 2 about submission to authority, and Romans 13, the proper role of government. Not a usurpacious, tyrannical government which infringes upon the laws of God. That's not what we're to submit to. And for those of you who are still doing that, understand what's going on in our society. I'm not an anarchist, but I believe the laws of God take precedence. So anyway, that's a short introduction. It went too long, I'm sorry. So, what led to me being threatened to be arrested? Well, a couple things. And I'm going to show you it. Outside of the Pilgrim Medical Center in Montclair, New Jersey, in 1990, here's the Pilgrim Medical Center, and here's the defendants. I wasn't there, obviously. I was like a couple years older during this time. But there was a court injunction filed against them. When you read this, it's insane. I can't believe this got passed as a court order in this nation. Because this is not just for the defendants. This is for all other people, it says. Okay, the defendants, Patricia Meehan and Bernard Kelly, and all persons and organizations associated with or acting in concert or combination with or abetting them, and all other persons served with a copy of this order. So that includes anybody outside. And look at some of the conditions of this in court order. No more than 6 persons picketing. Okay, how is that lawful? Picketers shall be 5 feet apart from each other. The picketers shall continue to walk at all times while picketing and not stay in one place while picketing. A single file line. You shall approach no closer than 6 feet to the Pilgrim Medical Center, even though the sidewalk is public property, sorry. No picketer shall follow a person entering or leaving. We don't do that. No one does that. I'm sure maybe people have anyway. But what does that even follow? Does that mean like you're just walking behind them? That's what the interpretation of this is so grotesque and it's horrible. I can't believe. No picketer shall touch any person. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't think that people should be putting their hands in one another. But here's the main one. Picketers may carry signs which are non-offensive while picketing. Non-offensive. And that's going to be the whole interaction, because I've had every single time that I bring my sign, which is pretty much every time. Depends on the police officers. Some understand that this is like ungodly, even though they don't believe in God, some of them. Moreover, it's unconstitutional. Not that the Constitution is the foundation for all law, but the Constitution in this manner, I believe, is consistent with the Word of God, and therefore should be is just. Now, this is a letter issued by the Legal Center for Defense of Life, which is a nonprofit in Morristown, New Jersey, dated 2012. And what this letter is saying, this is in response to that from 1990. I don't know why it took so long for anything to be done. I've only been going to this abortion clinic for about 9-10 months now, seeing as I'm newer to the fight. By the grace of God, I'm involved in the fight. But among many other things, this talks about previous case law established about in New Jersey about First Amendment rights, picketing on public sidewalks, public rights of way. These are all basic things, basic. I'm not even going to go on some of these things, pure verbal expression. And these are previous case law established. But the most, and these are all important things, but one of the most important things is at the very end of it, where it says, in this regard, it is extremely important for you to note and to instruct the police officers in your department that the injunction obtained by Pilgrim Medical Center is dated December 19th, 1990. Therefore, the injunction is no longer in effect because it is over 20 years old and thus has expired pursuant to the statute of limitations. So in the video, you're going to see he's going to keep referring. Well, this particular officer, or detective, this is a detective, keeps referring to 2 different standards here. We're going to keep, and it gets confusing because I'm not sure what he's referring to sometimes. So sometimes he's referring to this court injunction, as I just showed you. Sometimes he's referring to this, and then sometimes he's referring to the town ordinances, to the Montclair town ordinances. Now, just yesterday, I received a summons in the mail from him. Okay? So, I have to go to court. And what he got me for, okay, what he issued me the summons for is for this. Obstructing highways and other public passages. And he got me on this one. A person in a gathering commits a petty disorderly person's offense if he refuses to obey a reasonable official request or order to move to prevent obstruction of a highway or other public passage. And there have been, I emailed an attorney, a pro. I don't know if he's pro-life. He seems to, I'll have to talk to him. But anyway, he's willing to help me. And he emailed me back saying that, here's some of like discussions about this statute within. And it's very clear that I didn't break the law. In fact, this one says, and I'm sorry, this is not on your screen, but an order to move addressed to a person whose speech or other lawful behavior attracts an obstructing audience shall not be deemed reasonable. Seeing the order to move shall not be deemed reasonable if the obstruction shall be readily remedied by police control. And here it says, obstructs means renders impassable without unreasonable inconvenience or hazard. As you'll see, I did not stand in anybody's way.
It's an offensive sign.
I know it's offensive.
It's an offensive sign. He keeps saying the offensive sign. He's referring to this court injunction.
Take it across the street.
He wants me to take it across the street.
I will not.
May I see your driver's license? We have your driver's license.
Can I ask why? Am I being arrested? Am I being detained?
Not being arrested.
Okay.
Right
am I being
now, I'm
detained?
questioning you.
Okay.
Yeah, right now I need your license. Get your license.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
Right now you're
Okay.
going against the town ordinance. Now,
is this
See, and there you go. So now he started off about the sign. I have a sign over here in this corner. I'm on the very edge of the sidewalk. If you see, look at where we're standing. This is the building. The sidewalk is in between us, and we're right next to the parking meters. I'm not blocking the sidewalk, sir. He knows it. But then he says, now I'm disobeying the town ordinance. And the town ordinance, I guess he's talking about now, is blocking public sidewalk, obstructing sidewalks.
this constitutional?
May I see your driver's license?
Is this constitutional?
I'm not saying it's not constitutional, but you're leaning up there,
No.
you're blocking the public path.
Okay.
All that's simple.
Okay, that's fine.
Take your sign across the
Okay.
street.
I said I will not.
All right.
I
This is
said
a town ordinance.
they have to take me to court. They have to take me to court.
This has nothing to do with it. This has to do with Montclair.
And there you go. I was because he started out talking about the sign, so I was confused for a second. I thought he was talking about this court injunction when he's talking about a town ordinance, which I'm obviously not in violation of.
It
Okay.
doesn't have to do with Essex County.
Okay.
This is Montclair.
Montclair is doing what?
You're against the town ordinance right now.
Which is what?
You're blocking the passage
Okay.
on the sidewalk.
I moved. Now I'm not blocking. Is that okay?
You have to put it.
He's talking about this little like walkway here in between cars. There's no like official passage here. There's no official like walkway here, a set of stairs. This is street level. I was just standing in between two cars, which are parked right next to the meter. Look at the meters. We're right here on the edge of the sidewalk. I'm not blocking anything. I moved just so whatever passageway he thought was the official passageway, I wasn't standing there.
You told me to take the sign across the street.
I'm not going to go back.
And that's why we're talking. I was like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying you asked me to take the sign across the street. So I was confused about what he's trying to talk to me about. What his complaint with me is.
No, you told me to take it across the street, right?
What I said to you is,
Okay.
if you have a problem with the way that
Yes.
order is, you
Yes.
have to go to Newark. That's what that's out of. Not Montclair.
Okay.
Now you're talking about local charge.
Okay. Local.
Local.
Okay. You're talking about. Okay. So you're not talking about that.
I'm not talking.
Okay. Okay.
But you, like I said.
Okay. No, that was a misunderstanding.
You're doing something different.
Okay.
It's nothing to do with the.
Okay. Perfect.
I
So
told you
okay.
what you got to do is go to the courts and speak to the judge.
Okay.
about it. Now you're going into something different.
Okay. So
That's why I said now you're disrespecting me.
okay. Can I ask you? Okay. No, officer. I'm trying to talk to you.
Right.
Can I ask you what the town ordinance is about this sign? I can't.
You can't
Okay.
fix it up.
Okay.
It up again.
I'm not going to.
Blocking the public passage.
I'm gonna hold
You're
this.
in the middle of the street blocking.
No,
blocking
officer.
traffic.
I'm over here. I'm gonna hold it here.
And he even said I'm in the middle of the street. That's a lie. Because this is a condensed video because the whole video is almost like an hour long. But in the beginning of it, because I have to go to court in a couple days, or next couple weeks rather, I have the full video of me walking from my car with the sign to where I'm standing the entire time. I end up standing in between these two cars so that cars can see the sign as they pass by to expose the injustice that's going on in this building, which is a very, it's you wouldn't know it looking at this building. And many people do not know this is an abortion clinic. Anyway, I wasn't blocking the street. In fact, in the original video, which is too long to post because no one will watch it, someone comes up to me in the street. They're in the street, this priest, to see my sign. And I have to tell him, get out of the street. You're going to get hit by a car. So obviously I'm not in the street. But he's just throwing everything at me. The sign's offensive, I'm in the street. I'm blocking the sidewalk. That's where I was standing. It's in between two cars. There are many ways to get to the abortion clinic. Look, there's not, like I said, there's not an official set of stairs that you must enter through. People come from this way, people come from this way. This is a Detective Lee.
No, it's an offensive sign.
It's an offensive sign. He keeps going on about the offensive sign, but that's not what he issued me a ticket for, because he knows he couldn't.
Is that a town? Well, no. We're talking about the town ordinance, right?
You're talking about two different ordinances.
Okay, let's talk about the town ordinance.
The town ordinance
Is can I fix it? Okay, I'm not going to fix it, and I'm not going to block.
You're
Okay.
not doing that now.
Okay.
However,
Okay.
the sign is offensive.
Right, which is against that court order.
Yes.
Okay,
Now
so I'm going to disobey that court order.
I'm asking you to go across the street.
And when I say disobey that court order, people don't get the wrong idea about me. Okay, for those of you who know me, know I'm not a very confrontational person. I like conversation with people, and when I have conversation with people, I don't mind speaking what I really think. I don't do it all the time, God knows that, but I'm not an anarchist or one who hates authority. But as I showed you before, according to the lawyers and all that I can see, this court injunction, the one I showed you before, first of all, is grossly unlawful. But most importantly, it's past the statute of limitations. So when I say I'm going to disobey that court order, maybe I worded it incorrectly. But when the police officers come to tell me that they're going to arrest me, I inform them of this. And then they read that letter. You'll see that. But I just wanted to clear that up. And actually, the police officer, sergeant who comes later, tells me that I've been very respectful, as I always have been.
I'm respectfully telling you that I will not go across the street. I had spoke. I have a God-given right to be here, and I'm preaching the gospel. Yeah, that's why. And I'm going to ask you another question. You remember when? Yes. I know. And
he wants me to go across. He keeps telling me to go across the street, right? Go across the street with that. No.
I'm telling you, I have no right.
I'm asking you to leave.
No, please, no.
I'm asking you to leave.
If I'm not disobeying any laws, I know.
The sign is offensive. He keeps going on about this. I said, if I'm not disobeying any laws, the sign's offensive. And I pray for Officer Lee. I pray for Officer Lee. And I've had many interactions with, I had many interactions with Detective Lee. Wish him no harm. All I'm doing is exposing or just giving a commentary of what's going on here. It's...
I know, and I'm asking you to allow me to do what is my God-given right, to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, to stand here without blocking any sidewalk, without touching any person.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Am I going in here getting an abortion right now?
No.
Why am I here?
You're here because they have asked you to be here. I'm upset about it. We're discussing it, and I'm telling you.
There's nothing else.
I'm just going to, because it's long, this is shorter and it's still long, but I'm going to fast forward to the part where the police officer or the sergeant comes and threatens you with arrest.
Right here.
Okay.
All right. So there's been a court injunction where a judge stipulated what can and can't be done on the site.
Are we talking about that injunction right there?
Yes.
Okay.
And sign being offensive can't be walked in front of the structure.
Okay.
So the officer asks you to take it across the street. You're refusing to do so.
Right.
All right. So I'm gathering there's one or two ways that this can go.
Okay.
So you...
Another police officer pulls up.
Can comply or you can be arrested.
Okay. Is this a criminal? I thought this was a civil. This is a civil injunction, right?
Yeah, but
okay.
Violating the judge's order,
right,
turns it criminal.
When I was speaking to Officer Monjovi, he said that I told you to not have the sign here. I said, yes, I know. He says, so what I can do, he said, I'm going to file a report, and they'll have to take you to court to enforce this. He said, I can't enforce this. That's what I'm going on, and I have this on camera. This is what I have. This is exactly what I have. He said, this is a civil thing, a civil injunction, and if I'm disobeying it, then they'll have to take me to court. But this is not a criminal. But it's not a criminal thing.
It's a breach of the peace.
And I say, it's a civil injunction. They'll have to take me to court. They have to enforce it. They can't enforce it. It's after the statute of 20. It's after the 20-year statute of limitations. They can't enforce it. This is non-binding on anybody. It's a piece of paper now, which has no authority.
I'm not, officer. A breach of the peace is saying something that is offensive.
Or displaying something that's offensive.
Isn't that a First Amendment right?
That's insane. And with all due respect to this detective, sergeant, who was very respectful to me, and I think who were, for the most part, all they were very respectful to me, and I was respectful to them. A breach of the peace, he just said, is showing a sign that's offensive. That's scary.
Absolutely not.
No?
No.
What does the First Amendment protect, if I can ask you?
Freedom of speech.
Yes.
The right to say.
Assembly. Right. Which is exactly okay.
As long as it's not causing a disturbance.
But what is a disturbance? If people find your speech offensive, then you're allowed to say, oh, we won't tolerate that because it's offensive to us. Then any speech is offensive that you want to. The whole idea is to protect speech that is specifically offensive.
And I think he sees this.
That you and I won't.
I think he sees this. Again, I'm going to fast forward because it's a long video.
To lawyers who have said that's past the statute of limitations, it can't even be enforced, they have to take it to court again.
Your lawyers are telling you this?
Yes.
They're not here?
This is from this.
Your lawyer?
This is called the Legal Defense Team. They're a non-profit. And that's quite, there's a lot of stuff in there. And it even says, I've read it and I've talked.
The letter that I gave him is the letter I just showed you, saying about the statute of limitations and the 6-page letter. But he's reading that now. This was sent to the chief police, by the way, so he should have that. They should know about this stuff.
To officers about it, because
The lawyer wrote it up. It's not case law yet.
Agreed.
And he's saying it's not case law. Agreed. But you should know that this civil injunction is no longer. It's past. It's no longer enforceable. So they're telling me I have to go to court to enforce the civil injunction. And I'm telling them no, if it's past the statute of limitations, then they have to go to court to file a new one. I don't have to go to court to allow me to do something that's lawful. The civil injunction is no longer enforceable. It should have, first of all, it should have been challenged right away. And just so you know, back when it was filed in 1990, there was some, and this was under previous presidents, but there was a law about RICO, which is like a racketeering and law against mobsters and many people were trying to get those who were against abortion, anti-abortion activists. They were trying to get them using this RICO law, and that's insane. And I'm not sure, but I think a few people actually got in trouble because of the RICO law, which is for, like I said, it's for racketeering and mobster. But
agreed. I agree with you. I agree with you. Absolutely.
See, he's reading it now.
Somebody that comes down here finds this offensive.
I know.
And it turns violent. We have a whole different situation.
Well, listen, I'll remind you, in the South, they used to show pictures of the slaves being beaten, and it was offensive to people. Any Yes.
You need to keep moving. You can't obstruct public passage, which means vehicular and/or persons.
I will not. I promise.
People getting out, egress from cars.
I will not.
You can't get down the street.
Okay, I will not be in the street.
And you need to keep moving, Okay? So it's been clearly laid out.
Yes.
We don't have a challenge every week here, so that's
No,
what we have to do.
Right.
And if you want to challenge things in the court of law, through
well,
attorneys and override
I'm
that,
challenging them.
So you can do
I'm
that.
challenging them.
See, and everybody's confused here. They're all different stories. You know, this is going to be, you know, very respectfully, they keep referring to this injunction here, right? But that's not what I'm charged with now. I'm charged with obstructing public passageways. So they just slapped me with anything they can get me with. That even attempted. I didn't block. I mean, I have witnesses. Everybody will attest to this. These are all, for the most part, Roman Catholic pro-lifers who I pray for that they would receive Christ and his gospel, not the Roman Catholic false gospel. Anyway, many witnesses. But they're confusing everything. They're talking about two different things.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, that's done through the court, not
Right.
the street.
I know.
And we have a breach of peace here, or disorder.
A breach of peace. A breach of peace. And this is what happens when you just make the law say whatever you want to say. A breach of peace now is holding an offensive sign that people don't like and refusing to comply with unlawful commands from a police officer. Look at where I'm standing, by the way. Near a tree. So unless someone walks through the tree, I'm somehow blocking them. Look at where I am. And I have to go to court over this.
The conduct that you're going to put us in a position to take action. So let's all just keep it moving and keep along, and you want to protect your right, your rights, and everyone's
G-U-L-B-I-N.
So that's-
First name is Raymond.
So that's we're here to keep
All right,
the
make
peace.
sure you get it right.
All right.
We're not trying to disrespect you. Don't. I do.
G-U-L,
keep
B as in
moving
boy,
on,
I-N.
and let's not have an
Okay.
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 Oh, you're not a sergeant yet.
No, that's me.
Okay. And don't take it that we're trying to
No, we're not.
throw it in your face. That's not the idea.
Listen, you've been respectful. My thing is, like you said, it should be taken care of.
So that's gonna end. I'm gonna end the video there. I don't have to show you everything else, but this is Detective Lee, who is stationed outside, and he's the one who filed a complaint against me, the summons. You just heard it from the sergeant there. I'm respectful. Okay, I'm not trying to incite violence or breach the peace. This is a God-given right, as I told him so many times. This is a God-given right, which the Constitution also upholds and defends. So therefore, the Constitution is a just order. I'm not for taking the law into your own hands. And if you think that's what this is not. This is simply obeying the law. And his command to me was unlawful. So I have to go to court for this. Praise the Lord that there is an attorney who I sent my information to, and I sent the videos to him. I sent the letters to him. And you know, like I said, I have the video. I don't think it's a big deal, but all I'm saying is that this is what happens when people try to, and if I didn't know my rights, I would have gone across the street. And I'm sure most people just listen, they go across the street, or they go down the street. And all it is to make their job easier. But, so, I'll do a video to show you what else, what becomes of this court date. As I said. And I was respectful to them, and the sergeant acknowledged it. But I don't have to obey unlawful commands. And I would even go further as to say you should not obey unlawful commands. Okay? Because what did we say? That the authority is there for? I'm going to go to the ESV. I'm not crazy about the... Okay, where is it? To punish those who do evil and to praise those who do good. Okay? So with Operation Rescue and those who were interposing themselves on behalf of these, in front of these abortion clinics, who were brutally treated by police officers in LA and across this nation, sadly enough, by police officers who were under the pastorship of Pastor John MacArthur, whom I respect in many ways, and I believe he's a Christian, but I can't believe that he would not look at some of that stuff and tell his police officers that what they did was sin. We're to obey God and not man. And even if they had to arrest them, they didn't have to treat them in such a manner. They were breaking people's arms, and there were many women who had miscarriages when they were trying to save lives. Anyway, the whole point is to punish those who do evil and praise those who do good. But what we have in our society today is the exact opposite, though. Here, they're trying to punish those who do good and praise those who do evil under the guise of, oh, we're neutral. Brothers, there is no neutrality with God. Jesus said, you are either for me or you are against me. He who does not gather with me scatters. What does it say? To be in the flesh is what? Is enmity against God. There is no neutrality with God. And it's one of the biggest myths. So we'll leave it at that. I know it's a 30-minute video, but just to show you what is going on here. Thanks for watching. The Lord bless you.